Small damages to the wood up to 1/8 inch in diameter can be repaired using the RX for Wood Floors fill stick. This includes damages such as small cracks, nail holes, wormholes, and dings. Scratches and compression marks that were not completely remedied during Step 1 can also be filled in with the RX for Wood Floors fill stick. Make sure the area is clean and dry. If needed, use a fine Scotch-Brite pad to remove any dirt, grease, or oil. Dampening the pad with mineral spirits will help in the cleaning. Always use the pad in the direction of the grain, using light pressure to avoid removing finish and sanding through the color line. Make sure the area is completely dry before proceeding to the next step. Choose the color fill stick that is closest in color to the lightest background color in the area of the damage. If needed, mix 2 or more sticks together to arrive at a suitable color match. It is better to have your repair lighter in color to the surrounding area than darker. Of course, what you're striving for is a perfect match. On lighter wood where the damage has not affected the color layer of the floor, you may use the semi-transparent natural stick. Compress the fill stick into the damage area. This can be achieved by placing the stick directly on the damage area and rubbing over the area while applying pressure to the stick. You can also break off a small piece of the repair material and force it into the defect with finger pressure or by using a putty knife or plastic card. It works best if you slightly overfill the defect. Remove the excess material by scraping the floor in the direction of the damage using a stiff plastic scraper or putty knife. Always keep both edges of the knife on solid wood, being careful not to remove too much repair material. You don't want your repair to go below the surface of the floor. Once you remove the excess, rub the surface lightly with a fine Scotch-Brite pad to remove the gloss area on the top surface that was caused by the fill stick. Your repair is now complete unless you need to replace the grain. We'll talk about that in a minute. Larger damages such as holes, gouges, cracks, and small burns that are between 1/8 inch and 1/2 inch in width can be repaired using the RX for Wood Floors putty. Make sure the area is clean and dry. If needed, use a fine Scotch-Brite pad to remove any dirt, grease, or oil. Dampening the pad with mineral spirits will help in the cleaning. Always use the pad in the direction of the grain, using only light pressure to avoid removing finish and sanding through the color line. Then clean any loose material out of the defect. Small burns up to 1 inch that have penetrated the wood itself can be repaired. You can do this by removing the darkened material using a knife or sandpaper. In selecting the best putty for the repair, choose the putty that's closest in color to the lightest background color in the area of the damage. If required, you can mix 2 or more colors together to arrive at a suitable color match. It is better to have your repair lighter in color to the surrounding area than darker. Of course, a perfect match is always best. To determine the color of the putty when dry, spread a small amount on a white card and dry using a hair dryer. Compress the putty into the damage area. Use a putty knife for applying the repair material. Slightly overfill the defect. Remove any excess material by using the putty knife. Always scrape in the direction of the damage, keeping both edges of the putty knife on solid wood. Next, allow the material to dry hard. A small hair dryer will speed up the process. Once dry, use a Scotch-Brite pad to smooth and abrade this repair flat. If needed, apply a second coat. The repair is now complete unless you need to replace missing grain. Whether you use RX for Wood Floors fill stick or RX for Wood Floors putty, you'll often need to complete the repair by reconnecting the missing grain lines. To do this, choose the graining pencil that is closest in color to the grain in the area of your repair. You may find you need to use more than one graining pencil. Apply the grain in very light, even strokes. You want your grain lines to be thin and have a natural look. Practice and a sharp graining pencil are the keys to this step. Apply 1 or 2 lines onto your repair and place a piece of clear glass on top to get an idea of how the repair will look when top coated. If needed, apply more grain. If your lines look too dark, you can correct this by lightly rubbing the area with fine Scotch-Brite. Go slowly and always keep a close eye on how the repair looks. Once you're satisfied with the repairs and the area is completely dry, you're ready to apply the top coat.